The sec is here. Hi, everybody. I just put in the chat that I will be on in we will be on in a second. The second is here. So for those of you who have joined in with us, say hey. What's up? I see that we have 4 people who have joined in or we're waiting. My dog is having a moment. All right, we'll give people a chance to get in before we get started with our first sprint. Hey, Geraldine. Hey, Latrice, how are you? How's everybody doing this on this Friday, the last Friday before a holiday? And Njeri is going to do. Hey, Shay. Wait, why are you crying? We got to wave. Was that a finger slip? We will be joined a little bit later by Njeri, but she was able to get us going so that we could get started with our first sprint. So I'm just gonna give happy is Friday. Same. Cool. I totally understand the finger slippage. It happens quite often. My fingers hit enter sometimes midway between a sentence. So for those of you who are joining, last week we started, I say we as the collective we, because y'all know I'm ahead, but we started Adulthood Rites, which is the second book in the Xenogenesis trilogy, also titled Lilith's Brood, for those of us who have this bind up. I actually have a hardback bind up that I was able to find in Goodwill a year or so ago of the trilogy that actually says Xenogenesis on the cover. I love it. I probably will never touch it again. But for those of you who joined us last week, if you read during the week, for however far you got last week or where you are this week, share not what your thoughts are, but what you think about our seemingly main character at this point, Akin. I know last week Latrice shared quite a few of you, but Latrice is sticking out. Your comments sticking out in my head about enjoying being in his brain and getting to experience this story from his point of view. So if anyone else would like to share, give it a few more minutes so we can get some people in before we start our first sprint. And if you have started, I will say that the sooner we start the sprint, the better, because part 2 is 100 pages. So it's quite a bit to read, and we want to get as far as we can. I knew you would, and I knew by the time we finished the sprint last week that you had not gotten to the end, and so I was like, "Oh shit!" So I knew that you would, Latrice. It's going to be an interesting journey. I will say that. But yeah, they better not hurt him or I'm gonna be mad. Anyone else? We see now that we still have the situation of the resistors, which we always knew was the case. We knew that there were still those who were anti-Oankali. And now that we have, for those of you who joined last week, and I don't want to spoil things for those who haven't gotten to the end of part 1, but now that we have met Tino, we get to see a little bit more of the character of a resistor who is more amenable, is that the word? Or more willing to spend time with the Oankali. And we also get some information about how the still Team Alien, about how the resistors are managing and dealing with life emotionally and mentally, and the toll that it's taking on them, and still, hey Alba, and them still wanting to continue their road of resistance, even though a lot of them feel very hopeless. And their actions speak to that. Hey, Christina. Oh, excuse me. Do it up. Well, happy belated birthday, Christina. Hope you had a good time. So Alba and Christina, for those of, if you all have started, Alba, you were here last week. Christina, if you have started the question that, okay, thank you. That, thank you, Christina. Really enjoying Akeen's point of view. Yeah, that's the consensus, I think, amongst a lot of us. We are really enjoying hearing and seeing this world through the eyes of Akeen, and even seeing Lilith through the eyes of Akeen. All right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I pulled this up on my phone because I'm a genius when I need the timer. So I am not, and I don't have the controls to be able to do the timer on the screen like Njeri does. So what I will do is set a timer on my phone, and we're gonna go for 30 minutes. So is everyone squared away and ready to get to reading? Because we're gonna start. Because I want those of you who have not started part two to get as far as you can in your reading tonight, because it's these sessions. We have 3 sessions left, and then it's the live show. So, well, tonight is one of the 3 sessions, and then it's the live. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a 30-minute reading sprint, and I will see you in 30 minutes. All righty. That is the end of our first 30 minutes. I know some of us have the bind up and others of us have the standalone book, but if you would like to share where you are, either by page number or by chapter, that would be great. Hello, and Jerry.
Hi, thank you for starting.
You're welcome.
It's nephew night at the hotel. Um, can I share? Because I haven't done anything.
Absolutely.
I have gotten through. So I'm behind. I'm behind everyone. Um, I am currently on page 56. I didn't even finish part one.
We
It's been
balance each other.
it's been quite a week. So I haven't started part two, Phoenix, yet. Um, but I am feeling good. And you might have to close your eyes because I want to show people the progress of my art. I'm sorry, but
Okay, go ahead.
I'm very proud. So first of all, I'm using my Melanie Eclectic bookmark, which sort of matches the cover a little bit. And then I did the pages and I used colors.
Oh, you showed me that.
Oh, I didn't do this part though. So yeah, I did that, and then no, you're not supposed to be on camera though. You have to be right here. Okay. And then yeah. And then anyway, whatever. That's where I am, and man, these voices. So right now, I think everybody's ahead of me. So Tino and Lilith and Nikanj are having a moment. So that's what's happening at the moment.
A spongy moment.
A spongy moment. So I'm really ready to finish this off and start part two. And happy belated birthday, Christina.
Hey, Maria.
So you're really enjoying Akin's point of view. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I remember really liking Akin. Happy belated birthday. So you just got to section 2, part 3. Awesome. You just finished chapter 4, part 2. Wow, I'm so behind. I'm going to have to do some motor reading over the weekend. And part 2, chapter 2. Awesome.
Okay. So for the most part, everyone first of all, everyone in the chat, because I started part 3 and then Jerry's in part 1. We
Yeah.
balance each other. Everyone in the chat started part 2 tonight, and in the first 30 minutes have pretty much gotten into the same. We're all in the same spot, so that's
Yeah.
great.
And for folks in the chat, what are you like? How are you feeling about the way the story is progressing? How do you feel about the pace? Because I remember when we did the Patternist series, we were talking about pacing, and one of the things that we were talking about was
That's a really good question.
feeling like some of the books moved faster than others. Like some of them felt really long. I remember Survivor felt super long.
Yeah, the chapters in Survivor
Hmm.
felt super long.
Yeah.
You asked people in the chat.
So Regina Renee says, okay, I'm going to turn my camera off so you can see. Okay, you can look. Do you want to look? We're all reading a book together. So Regina Renee, you just finished and you're just rereading with this lovely community. Awesome. You're really, really enjoying this one.
Great.
And you love this one so far. Cool.
I
So
have misplaced, because I'm all over the place. I have misplaced my Post-its. Okay, I'm good. Oh, and Jerry muted. Okay. Um, so Latrice, you love this one so far. Christina, really enjoying this one. Great. This I think, yeah, I think of what we have read thus far, aside from Kindred, because that's one of my faves, and Wild Sea. No, maybe Mind of My Mind. So, okay, before I list everything, from between the end of Mind of My Mind to the start of Lilith's Brood, so that's what, 2 books in the Patternist series. I kind of feel like these books are, is you see the growth in Octavia's writing. Um, the spongy moment passed. You see the growth in Octavia Butler's writing, and definitely see there's more time that's spent without it feeling like there's too much time. It's like a good balance of time that's being spent in each area, in each section that we're reading in the book. Good with the pace, but also feel a little weird that it's part 2, and I'm not confident I know who the protagonist is. What is the okay, so I have to, like, I've never thought about this, and I'm making this statement because I just had a bookish conversation on Sunday in regards to like identifying protagonists, antagonists in reading, and I have never done or paid that much attention to it in just my chill reading. Like, so I haven't paid attention to that and sought that out since school.
It
But
matters, I think.
okay.
I think when you have multiple point of view books, it perhaps matters less, because really you want to be able to see the plot unfold through the perspective of a number of different characters. And so what matters most is how they engage with each other, more so than who's the primary story, who is responsible for the plot moving along, right? But I think, like, I don't know, like, for this, and she did this before. This happened in Pattern Master as well, where
Mhm.
we developed a relationship with Anyanwu. Then Emma came and just receded, and then we got Mary, and then we got, like. But here,
Right. So is it
I think
looking
Lilith is
for,
still the protagonist, even if the story isn't told from her point of view all the time. I still think she's the protagonist.
and see, that's the difference in me reading it, and I guess you all reading it who are looking for the protagonist, because since this, I'm not looking for a protagonist for the whole series, because it changes from book to book. So looking at each individual book, because again, generational sequels. So we're no longer looking at, yes, it's Lilith's Brood for the compilation or whatever, the bind up, but we're no longer focused on Lilith because we've moved to the next generation. So I guess that's the difference in how I'm looking at it, because I'm not looking to see, yes, Lilith would be considered the protagonist for book 1, but for book 2, I'm not looking to see Lilith because she's no longer the focus of the story.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, Maria, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on that. Um, Good pacing from end of part 1 to beginning of part 2. You're still in part what? Yes, the SpongeBob.
I think that's what we just need to
SpongeBob.
call them from now
Yes,
on. Spongy moments.
yes. Okay, so maybe because you read a lot of fantasy, multiple people. Yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So, what do we think for? I'm liking just 30-minute sprints. I don't know what it is, but does that feel good for folks? Okay. Let me just find the Google timer.
I just realized I was muted.
Uh, Not for all of it. Only when
Okay.
you said that's good for me.
Okay, you can read.
But I can relive, so it's fine. We're all okay.
Oh
Okay, let me just share the screen. Okay, can you see the timer?
Yes.
Great. Okay, happy reading. See you in half an hour.
No, can't hear you. All right. While Njeri works out the audio. No. No.
Oh,
There we go. Okay, now you just muted because because it unplugged. I heard you say hello and then it muted.
there we
There
go.
we go.
Jeez. So everybody, hello. Where are you right now? So before we did our sprint, Maria, I think I asked you about the protagonists and why it was important for you to think about who the protagonist might be, and you responded. I like the multiple points of view. Just at this point, I can't quite tell if the rest of this book will center Lilith or Akeen more. You kind of like that, but it feels uncommon. Okay. I wonder, do you like? I think this is one of the things that Octavia Butler does really well too, right? Is like that place of ambiguity. Because I remember when we were reading the Pattern series, we were like, is Doro really dead? Is he coming back? Like you get so used to a point of view. Although what you were saying, Tati, you were saying you kind of expect, because her stories are generational, you don't really expect for them to come back. Like
Right.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. As far as based on well, I've read this already, but also based
Yes.
on just what we have experienced with the Patternist series. Um and I don't think Doro was the important person in the Patternist series. I think Anyanwu was. And after book one, we were done with Anyanwu. We had Emma. And we went from Emma to Mary. So Anyanwu and Emma were in the same body, but they were definitely not the same person. So yeah, I feel like we're done with Lilith, and we've moved now to Akeem.
You can never be done with Lilith. Hi, Alicia. Welcome. All right. So I know that I'm at a different part where everybody else is. So what are you enjoying most about what you're reading right now, everyone? What are you enjoying most about what you're
Yes,
reading?
you all, you all share because Njeri's behind. I am ahead. You all are where
We're
we're supposed to
completely
be. So please share with us your thoughts and how you are feeling. What emotions are you feeling?
there's a really weird like ringing sound. It's very annoying.
Oh, I can't hear it. It's not coming through. So
Good.
that's good for us. It's not
Good
good
for
for
all of
you.
y'all.
Yeah, that's not good for you. I will say for some were on section 2. Okay, there we go.
I'm enjoying Akeem's journey and wondering what will happen. I feel for him. Me too. Akeem is so innocent and so helpless with those little short feet.
Wait, so what part did you get to? How far did you get in Jerry?
I'm at the part where so he's been taken
Okay.
and they're in the woods. Like he's with the people who took him. He's been abducted. Yeah.
Same, Alicia. That's one of the things that got me about how cognitive and seemingly rational he's able to be in this kind of situation, even with the at the point of the abduction. He realizes that he has to scream so that he seems normal. Like the thought of that, so that he seems like a normal or a typical human child, he must bellow.
I'm just impressed again at how she's so good at switching up who the perceived monster is. Yes. And how Poppy was the other day saying humans suck.
Welcome
And
to my world.
and not only that, definitely that, and also the fact that like it's so clear to me how ridiculous humans are and how self-sabotaging they are. Like I feel like these stories really get us to see that, you know?
Like I'm not, I shouldn't, but I fuck it. The fact that since we've made it past the abduction, the fact that no metal has been introduced to this situation by the Oankali, and these dumbass humans have managed to salvage shit as they resist. I'm gonna stop cussing at some point. To put together guns that they know can't kill the Oankali. So who the fuck you shooting at? Like the
Yeah.
absolute stupidity of it.
Yeah. 100%. This ringing is gonna bug me.
Oh, you have
100%.
babies in the room. I might not need to cuss. I'm sorry.
Oh no, they're not here at the moment.
Okay.
You're starting to enjoy a keen. You weren't sure if you would like the talking baby. Oh, it'd be so cool. Is this one? No, this isn't one of the ones that is getting a deal. Is it? Is this getting a deal yet?
No, and I kind
I
of
thought
don't
Dawn
want
was.
it. I don't think it is. I don't want it to get a deal. I don't want my vision of the Oankali is never going to be interpreted or put on any kind of screen or paper as well as I have it in my head. And so whatever somebody else does to me is going to seem like a fuck up. So I
Right.
hope it doesn't.
Okay.
I hope it
I hope it
does.
does. So here we are.
Here we are.
So you finished chapter 6, part 2. You like Yankees, yeah. I like his discovery for sure. I do want to hold and protect him, and I don't want him to lick my face. Hi, Whitney.
I mean, I wouldn't mind him licking my face. I have acne. Fix it.
I want all of that on a t-shirt. I wouldn't mind him licking my face, and then on the back, I have acne. Fix it. Hey, joining late. You're a part 2, chapter 3. Poor Akin trying to help his captors, and they don't deserve his compassion, dirty people. Seriously.
I just want him. Go ahead.
He's so kind and sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And you know who's gonna fuck that up?
Who?
Humans.
Oh yeah, because that's what we do. That's
what we do.
That's what she's showing us. So basically, I'm right in my early perceptions of being Team Alien, and then yeah, you are right in your early perceptions of being Team Alien. 100%. Dawn is going to be adapted, though. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So it is. I
want to see how they render the Oankali. I want to see what they look like.
My fear is that Dawn is going to be looking like these special effects and non-existent CGI in the first Doom. that's what lives rent free in my head, and those laser beam sword fighting matches that Patrick Stewart and the dude that was the guy that couldn't get it up in Sex and the City that was married to Charlotte had when Patrick Stewart had hair. Like that lives, how horribly done that was, lives rent free in my head.
But the thing is,
and that's what I am fearful.
The thing is, I think that if you've read the book so many times, I don't think the movie will rupture the story, right? Like even if it's really bad, I think we'll just revert to, okay, well, that was a fail. You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm gonna rip it the fuck apart. I'm gonna rip it apart.
Okay. All right, here we are.
It won't ruin the book, but I'm gonna rip it apart.
You feel a film adaptation could completely lose the point in dealing with consent. I hope they do it right. It's gonna. I do not envy the team that's putting Dawn together, because I just don't envy it. It's going to be a hard. It's going to be
You
hard, but I'm
literally
glad
have
they're
a
doing it.
man stripped and raped by an alien. And then the human female says, let me get in on this.
Like it's going to be a very challenging thing to do, and
I think they're going to leave that part out.
I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. All right. So let's do the last sprint. Half an hour. I will find that timer again. And then we'll get going. All right, everyone. Last half an hour. Happy reading. And that was our last sprint. So we'll do a quick chat before we end tonight. Where have you reached? I have probably reached where everybody else was when we started. So I'm chapter 9, just finishing chapter 9 of part 2. I really like how populated the story is at this point. You're on mute. I love meeting other characters that.
You said chapter 9 of part 2?
Yeah.
Damn. You did good.
Thank you. I said I would try to catch up. It's really cool. I passed you. We're kind of here. How long is this part? I'll try to get to, well, we'll see. I'll try to get to where I try to get to.
Yeah,
and
part 2 is 100 in total. Part 2 is 100 pages.
Okay.
But if you made it, I mean, but you know what? There are quite a few short chapters
Yeah.
at the beginning of part 2. I remember that now.
I love it.
It starts off with deceptively short chapters.
Exactly. All right. So you just ended chapter 7, part 2, finished chapter 9. Cool. All right.
That was so rude, body.
So, do we have any wrap-up questions or thoughts before we end for the evening? We could just end. I have a feeling people are probably going to keep reading.
I am on chapter 6 of part 3. But I'm going to go back to chapter. Okay, no, that's 18 of part 2. I must go back to see.
Okay. So.
He's just met Tate. Okay.
Yeah, I love. I really want. I don't remember if Lilith ever reconnects with anybody from the first group. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens. But yeah, I love going back and seeing like these little villages and and seeing how people recreate their lives and stuff. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I found that, and you'll see more of it. I don't want to speak too far ahead, but I found that very interesting, and I think she being Octavia Butler does a great job of showing how enterprising we can be.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing about us, but we just do shitty things with it.
And yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we don't have any more comments right now, so I think this is probably a good place to pause until we continue next time. As you know, the live show is going to be, it's this coming weekend, or is it 2 weeks from now?
I think it's this coming weekend. It's not this weekend. It is
this coming weekend.
It is the 28th. It's the 19th right now.
Okay.
For us, it is the Sunday after Thanksgiving.
Okay. So it's not this. So what's this coming weekend though? What's the date?
Today is the 19th. So this weekend when you say this coming weekend, I'm like tomorrow because I work today.
So, no. When I say this coming weekend, I don't mean this weekend. I mean the weekend that comes after.
Right. Next weekend. That's how I say that.
I accept this. I accept this. Okay. Yeah. So we have 2 more slow reading sessions until then, until the live show. So we have next Friday and then next Saturday, and then we have a live show on Sunday, which is going to be awesome. So please collect your questions. If you're watching this in the replay, if you have any questions that you would like us to include in the discussion, please do. If you please put them in the description, please leave a comment. Also, if we are always looking for volunteers to assist the breakout rooms too, so if that's something you're interested in, please let us know in the comments. And I think we can say, see you next time. Thank you very much for reading with us. Looking forward to following little Akin, seeing what happens, seeing if Lila shows up again. Hopefully she does, but Dora never did, so whatever. So
we don't want to compare Lilith to Doro.
No,
that's not happening anyway.
Okay, I accept that too. All right, everyone. Have a great evening, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Yes, see you next week. Bye.
Oh, if we want to read together, does that mean we should be ready for part 3? Yes.
Yes.
If we want to read together, we should be ready for part 3 at the next read.
Yes.
I tell myself.
That's a good question, Maria.
Are you ready? Yes. Okay. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye.